All right. Hey guys, it's Lauren from Career Contessa back with another Mentor Monday for this February 5th. Thanks so much for sending in your great questions. If you're new to Mentor Monday, this is when every Monday at Career Contessa, we will answer your career questions. You can submit them to us via DM on our Instagram at Career Contessa. You can also email them to us, info@careercontessa.com. You can also always ask questions when you join this Instagram Live. And just as a side note to anybody who's come to past Mentor Mondays, we've been uploading the replays to these to Facebook and YouTube. So however you prefer to watch, the live will also be up here for the next 24 hours when we're done. So got some really great career questions. The one that we're going to focus on the most is about thank you notes. Feel free to let me know in the comment section if you've ever sent a thank you note post an interview. This is a bit of a trick question, so feel free to say yay or nay in the comments just to have an idea of how many of you are already thinking about thank you notes when it comes to an interview. Now, a lot of you probably already know this, but before I launched Career Contessa, I was a recruiter. And so thank you notes were a really big thing in the recruiting world because oftentimes I would have hiring managers that would say to me, wait to give so-and-so an offer until they've sent a thank you note. So the reason why that was a trick question is because if any of you didn't think thank you notes were important when it came to the interview process, you're wrong. They're very important. And many recruiters or hiring managers, even now as a business owner, if you don't send a thank you note to me after an interview, I'm probably not going to hire you because here's why thank you notes are so important. One, you're taking the time to thank them for their time in interviewing you, and having the appreciation for that is really great. That's the type of person that you would want to hire. But it's also really important because that's your opportunity to say, thank you so much for taking the time to interview me. I really enjoyed our conversation about XYZ. Always offer a personal note that you took away from your conversation. That's enough, and it's your last opportunity to also tell them why you're the best fit for the job. So oftentimes people will just say, thanks so much for taking the time to interview me. While that's not wrong, I think you can go a lot further. So what I always say is send an email within 24 hours. So someone already asked an thank you note versus email. I'm not a huge fan of sending thank you notes via snail mail or regular mail paper. An email will totally suffice. If you don't have their email address, make sure that you ask the recruiter for their email address. Oftentimes they'll give you maybe a card at the end of the interview as well, so you should have that already. But so send an email within 24 hours. That's super important that it's timely and it's right away. Then you're going to say, thanks so much for taking the time to interview me. I really enjoyed talking about XYZ. Make sure you offer something personal that happened from your interview. That's why it's always a great idea to use their card, if they gave you a business card, to write on the back something interesting that you and that person talked about. If not, take a notebook with you to the interview, because sometimes it can be hard to recall that, especially if you're meeting with, more than two people for an interview, which oftentimes are group interviews these days. Now, the key to this post-interview thank you note is you get to say, it was so great to learn more about the company and the job via you, or, through talking to you. Here's why I know this is going to be a great fit for me, or why I'm a great fit for this company. So you get that last chance to really solidify why you're a great fit. So any doubts that maybe they had in their mind, you get to kind of put those out of their mind by saying, I know you mentioned this job required XYZ skill, and that's not something I had. I went and looked it up online, and I actually think I'm going to be really comfortable because I actually use this type of software, and it's really similar. So whatever maybe concern they had, or anything post-interview that you thought was concerning, you can also address it in this post-interview thank you note. The last thing you're going to want to put in your post-interview thank you note is, I'm looking, maybe you want to attach some document that you had mentioned in your interview to them. So anything like that, you get to follow up. But you also get to say, I'm looking forward to working with you, or hopefully working with you in the future. So you get to also let them know how excited you are for the job. So again, I want to not get off track about the bottom line is you have to send an interview note, send it via email. Those are some of the things that you want to mention in your email. And if you have any if you're looking for more help, we have a template on Career Contessa. If you just go to careercontessa.com, I'll also put it in the notes section of Facebook and YouTube when I repost this. But the reason why it's so important to do that is because it's your last opportunity to let them know that you really, really, really want this job. You want to work for them. You want to bring your skills to help benefit them. And that's really important because when recruiters or hiring managers go back to the table to decide who do they want to hire, there's a few things they want. Of course, they want skills. They want the person who can do the job. Of course, they want culture fit, the person they're going to enjoy working with, but they also want the person who wants the job, right? And so this is your opportunity to let them know, I want the job. And there's obviously things that allow them to know that besides just the fact that you said, I want the job. Sending it within 24 hours is also really great. All right, great. So it looks like you all agree with that. Thanks for all the love. Okay, I'm just looking through some of these. I've gotten jobs sending thank you emails because it made me stand out. Absolutely. I mean, I already told you guys a little bit, but when I was a recruiter, I had a hiring manager who specifically said, do not give this person an offer until they send the thank you note. So if you're not sending one, you might even be taking yourself out of the running for the job. Hiring managers are human. They get to decide what qualities are really important to them. This happened to be someone who was in PR, communications, advertising, so they wanted to make sure that this person understood the value of a follow-up, right? The value of following up, because a lot of their job is following up. So some great tips for you. Okay, the next question that came through, okay, she said, I had a phone interview and it went well, but the position details are still in the works. How often should I follow up with my contact? So this might happen to some of you where you are interviewing for a job, and in the process of interviewing for the job, they basically tell you, well, we're still getting the details of the job worked out. So hold tight. And now you're saying, hold tight. Like, how long do I need to hold tight for? So there's a couple of things that you should do. Definitely say, oh, I didn't know that. I read this job description. It looked great. What details of the job are you still working out? So point blank, ask them, like, what are they working out? Is it the salary? Is it the actual, like, who you'll be reporting to? Is it what department you'll be in? Is it that they don't really have the head count to hire this person yet? So when you can find out kind of what maybe the big challenge is, if they're willing to share it, that might be able to help. That might be able to give you an idea of how long it's going to take. If it's that they don't have the financial means, or they don't have the head count, which means the company hasn't allocated a salary or position for that job, then it could be a while, right? Because sometimes those are done on quarterly basis and things like that. If it's because they are still working out the job description and changing some things around about who you'll be reporting to, that might be something they can work out within the first month. If it's that they don't know the salary for this role, or they're still working out a detail like that, again, that might be within the first few months. So my advice to you is first try to figure out what is it, the details of the job that they don't know. And then what you can do is you can kind of gauge how often you should reach out. My general rule is I like to, like in a situation like that, I would give them 2 weeks, then I might give them 2 more weeks, and then I might wait 4 weeks. Depends on how much, of course, you really, really want the job, but I find 2 weeks to be manageable, and it definitely makes sense for you to reach out in 2 weeks, like, hey, it was, of course, you've sent a post-interview thank you note no matter what, 24 hours later, and then maybe 2 weeks later you say, I just wanted to let you know I'm still really interested in this job. Is there a status update on your end that you could tell me? And just saying something, light like that and not making it too heavy. Definitely don't threaten them and let them know, like, I've got all these other job offers. That's not going to help. But if you do have a job offer and this is the situation, it is good to keep them in touch so that they can be sensitive to your deadline of what you're going through. But oftentimes what I find is that when companies are a little lost and they start interviewing people before they have all the details, that's something that you need to really think about, because that might not be the right company or the right job at that time, at least, that you want to go work for. It can be hard to be successful in a job if they're not really sure what they're looking for before they even hire it. So that will be hard for you once you get there. So think about that. Okay, I'm just looking and seeing if any other questions came through. Okay, another person said, how do you pick Career Contessa coaches? That's a great question. So for those of you that don't know, we have a career coaching service called Hire a Mentor. Again, I'll add a link to that in the, I always want to say show notes. We're not on a podcast on YouTube and Facebook. But the way that we pick our career coaches is through a variety of ways. One, we have 3 different categories. So you can have career coaching to help you with career fit. So anybody who's trying to figure out what it is that they want to do. And there are people who really specialize in that. It's something they're really passionate about, and they've worked with lots of people before to kind of figure out what is it that makes you excited, makes you tick, what company or job would be a good fit for that. The other category is job search. You'll find a lot of certified career coaches, recruiters, people who work in the HR space, or professionals who do a lot of hiring who are in that space. And then the third category that we offer with our career coaching service, Hire a Mentor, is career growth. Career growth is really how do you thrive and grow and take on more responsibility in the job that you're at. So you're not necessarily looking to leave a company, or looking to grow within that company. Those mentors are sort of a wide variety of folks who are in different industries at different stages of their career, everything from CEOs or, retired CEOs to people who are VPs right now, and then a variety of industries, because obviously not every industry is created equal. So we really look for people, coaches who are, have that variety when it comes to, making sure they're not all, investment bankers or all working in the tech industry, and then who is really, really skilled at coaching and mentoring and has some sort of track record of success working with that. So that's a great question. Thanks so much for asking. So all of you who are thinking that you need a little one-on-one help, don't forget to check out Hire a Mentor, our career coaching service. We pre-vet every single mentor that's on there. You can also read reviews about what it was like for other people to work with them, and they all have a profile so you can learn more about them, as well as check them out on LinkedIn. So that's a great question that came through. Thanks so much. Okay, let's move into tonight's last question. This one says, I'm a female software engineer and I live in India. Do you think I can benefit from applying to jobs in the United States? So that's kind of a trick question because only you can really answer that. But what I will tell you, for anybody who is starting a job search, one of the best things you can do is have an idea of what it is that you want in your next position or company. What is it that's really important to you? And I don't know, the best analogy I can think of this is like in real estate. When you're going out to buy a house or you're getting your first apartment, usually you have to compromise on something. It's really hard to get, 2 bathrooms, 2 bedrooms, hardwood floors, and an updated kitchen in your apartment that you're going to rent. Oh, and by the way, you only want to spend $1,000 a month or something crazy, right? That it's always really hard to get all those things. So then you start to prioritize. Okay, me and my roommate, we really want to make sure that we have separate bathrooms. So that's a top priority. Hardwood floors, maybe we can live without, right? So that's kind of the same advice I would give to someone who is thinking about applying to jobs in the United States, or people in the United States applying to jobs internationally. What is it that's really important to you for a job? What are those top priorities? Is it that you have a great management team, or you're going to work under this amazing leader, or that you're going to get to work on XYZ projects that allow you to travel the world? Or is it that you're going to be able to work with certain technologies? So I would say that anybody can benefit from working internationally or in the United States or for this company or for themselves. The choices are endless, but you need to figure out what is it that's really important to you. I like to call them your career ideals. We actually have a worksheet for that as well on Career Contessa, so I'll make sure to link to that as well. For those of you that are watching live on Instagram, I'm sorry, it's really hard to leave those links in the comments, but like I said, all the replays of the Instagram live replays for Mentor Monday will be uploaded to our YouTube channel as well as Facebook. So you can grab those links there as well. So those are some great questions. I hope you guys have enjoyed this and you've learned something new. Please, please, please always send your post-interview thank you note via email within 24 hours. That would be a key takeaway from today's Mentor Monday. Thanks again. I'm Lauren McGoodwin, founder and CEO of Career Contessa, and I'll be back next Monday with a special guest. So please send us your career questions via DM on at Career Contessa, our Instagram account, or feel free to email us info@careercontessa.com. Thanks so much, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next week again with our special guest, which we'll be announcing on Sunday. So thanks a lot, guys.